In your experience living in the South, living in Georgia, have you ever like felt discriminated upon for like being Jewish, or like has there been any occurrences?
Well, there's been a lot of things. Two things in particular I want to talk to you about is the policy here for absences for students if you're Jewish, and the
Yeah.
other is the very first thing I did when I came here over the 6 years ago over the summer. I decided I wanted to do Yours Anne, the chamber opera about Anne Frank, and that
Right.
would be our very first show. And when I had made a few friends here in the first few weeks I was here, and someone on staff who was a very respected staff member and someone that I had become friends with immediately said, "You're not really going to do that as your show here, are you?" And I went, "What? What? Why not?" And she said, "Well, a lot of people don't believe in the Holocaust, and some people might take offense that you're trying to be like a missionary and try to convert people to Judaism." And I mean, she kept giving me all these excuses, and I went, "No, no, none of that. I think we're going to be fine." And we did the show, and everything was fine. But that was the very like that was my welcome to Milledgeville in the first couple of weeks
Oh my
of being
goodness.
here. So it was really shocking,
Yeah.
very shocking, because I had befriended this person. I actually
Right.
stayed friends with her, but it was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me?" It was like the weirdest
Yeah.
thing. And then the other thing was that about 2 years ago, there was no policy. So I had Hillel kids coming to me crying.
Hmm.
I missed a quiz that was 1/4 of the
Yeah.
grade of this and that and blah blah blah. And I asked my professor if I could make it up, and she said no, because there's no the policy at that time was professors can create their own policies for absences. And so, and I said, "But there's got to be a religious absence policy." So I
Right.
looked it up, and I found out that the University System of Georgia requires a policy for absences for religious reasons. And so I went before the Student Affairs Senate subcommittee, and I said, "We really need to set a policy,"
Right.
because not only had this one of the women come and cried to me, but I had actually gone to the dean. She had gone. I had told her to go to the chair
Hmm.
and the chair would not support her. So she went to the professor. Then she went to the chair, and they said the policy is professors can set their policies. And then I went to their dean in that school, and the dean said, "I'm sorry," and that student got a B overall in the course instead of what would have been an A.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, and we had several other kids. So anyway, so in this meeting, I said, not only do we need one, but the USG says we must have a policy.
Right.
And here is the UGA policy, and
Hmm.
I think we should copy it. And there was, and this in this committee it was all faculty and staff. This one faculty member in the Department of Education, who shall remain unnamed, said, "I don't care. I am not going to let Jewish students lie to me and tell me they have a holiday when they really don't, and try to get out of the cohort meetings, and those have to be met, and the student has to go, and I don't care what holiday it is. They are going." And I said, "Well, if I can give you the next 10 years of holidays and the
Right.
dates, if that would be helpful to you, and then you could not plan a cohort on that day." She says, "I will not be changing any of my dates for those students, blah, blah, blah." And anyway, how do you know if they're lying? And blah, 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 and just went off. I was sitting there, my heart was pounding so hard. And several other people were agreeing with her. And there were only like 8 people in that committee. And several other people were not supporting me.